Well, guys, we are less than a month away from the midterm elections. And I believe that this midterm election is one of the most important ones in many, many years. Americans are suffering under Joe Biden and Democrats. People are poorer now than they have been in a very, very long time. We talked about gas prices. We talked about inflation. And when it comes to gas prices, folks, they're on the rise. They're on the rise. The Democrats hate American energy. They want to depend on foreign oil, but yet they don't want us to actually drill for oil here, because of climate change. Well, guys, we got some devastating news here for the Democrats because they are failing again and again and again. Now, I don't know why it is, folks. Actually, I do know why it is. Seems like every time you get a Democrat in the White House, things just kind of fall off the rails for Americans. Remember Barack Obama, the Great Recession, longest recovery ever. And now you have the Beijing Biden regime here, and inflation is out of control. Remember the Socialist Democrats and, some weak-minded Republicans actually voted for the Inflation Reduction Act, even though it had nothing to do with reducing inflation. Well, guys, check this out. It's worse now. U.S. inflation spikes to 8.2%. Now, this is over here on Newsmax. I found it also interesting, guys, that they have changed the definition of what a recession is. We are in a recession. Even Biden now is actually talking about, well, if we have a recession, it's just going to be a little. No, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. But let's read this on Newsmax. Inflation in the United States accelerated in September, with the cost of housing and other necessities intensifying pressure on households, wiping out pay gains that many have received and ensuring that the Federal Reserve will keep raising interest rates aggressively. Yep. Because, folks, essentially, inflation is so bad that you have lost a complete month of salary. Yeah, you can actually thank Beijing Biden and his Socialist Democrats for that. Consumer prices rose 8.2% in September compared with a year earlier, the government said Thursday. On a month-to-month basis, prices increased 0.4% from August to September after having ticked up 0.1% from July to August. And folks, this is the last time we're actually going to find out about inflation before the midterm elections. Now, my question is, why are you people that are voting Democrat, why are you guys going to go out and continue to vote for Democrats next month? Why? Why are you going to go out there and vote for your own demise? I mean, folks, you people need to wake up. You people that are still supporting Joe Biden here, you need to wake up because you guys are just going to go out there and vote for your own demise. And you know what? It seems like Mitch McConnell is perfectly okay with that because he's not fighting against this whatsoever. It goes on. It says, yet excluding the volatile categories of food and energy, so-called core inflation jumped last month, a sign that the Fed's five rate hikes this year have so far done little to cool inflation pressures. The core inflation climbed 0.6% from August to September and 6.6% over the past 12 months. The yearly core figure is the biggest increase in 40 years. Core prices typically provide a clearer picture of underlying price trends. Yeah, your bread, your eggs going way up in price. And by the way, folks, you still can't get baby formula. Have you guys noticed that? Well, thank you, Joe Biden and Socialist Democrats. Why will you people go out there and vote for these people? Major U.S. markets swung sharply lower, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average futures moving from several hundred points up to a 400-point decline in seconds. Markets in Europe tumbled as well. Thursday's report represents the final U.S. inflation figures before the November 8 midterm elections, after a campaign season in which spiking prices have fueled public anxiety, with many Republicans casting blame on Beijing Biden and congressional Democrats. Inflation has swollen families' grocery bills, rents, and utility costs, among other expenses, causing hardships for many and deepening pessimism about the economy despite strong job growth and historically low unemployment. You know what, though? That kind of happens, though, when you have very, very high inflation. The unemployment rates are usually pretty low here. As the election nears, Americans are increasingly taking a dim view of their finances. According to a new poll by the Associated Press, NORC Center for Public Affairs Research, roughly 46% of people now describe their personal financial situation as poor, up from 37% in March. That's a 9 percentage point increase right there. That's just unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable that people are really, really suffering this much. Unreal. That sizable drop contrasts with the most steady readings that have lasted during the pandemic. The September inflation numbers aren't likely to change the Fed's plans to keep hiking rates aggressively in an effort to wrest inflation under control. The Fed has boosted its short-term rate by 3 percentage points since March, the fastest pace of hikes since the early 1980s. Those increases are intended to raise borrowing costs for mortgages, auto loans, and business loans and cool inflation by slowing the economy. Now, I believe I've actually talked about this before here. My home right now, I have a good interest rate right now because I locked it in 2015. I've had mortgage companies call me about refinancing. And the first thing that they ask me, what is your interest rate right now that you're paying? I tell them, and then you know what they tell me? Well, okay, have a nice day, because there is nothing they can actually do for me. Nothing. This is just unreal, guys. Unreal that we are suffering this much right now. I mean, these Democrats, man, they hate your guts. Folks, I'm afraid it's going to be a poor, poor Christmas for a whole bunch of people here, folks. Because I'm foreseeing that inflation is going to keep creeping up and creeping up and creeping up. Your Thanksgiving not going to be as good. Christmas not going to be as good. Hey, but no recession, right? At least that's what they're lying to you about. The mainstream media, the Democrats, Joe Biden, they're lying to you about a recession. We are in a recession. We have been that way for a while right now. But folks, you got to wake up. You cannot go out there and vote for Democrats. They're only going to make things worse. They're only going to make things worse, folks. This is just crazy. Crazy right here. I don't like actually bringing bad news to the viewers. I really, really don't. But I have to be real. Why are you going to go out there and vote for Democrats next month? Why? And I believe early voting is probably started for some states. Here in Texas, at the end of the month, we're going to have our early voting. You can't vote for Democrats. You just can't do it. I mean, swallow your pride. Stop voting Democrat. We need to change. I mean, 2 years is enough, folks. 2 years of this is enough. Day one, when Joe Biden came in, killed the Keystone Pipeline, killed oil and gas in this country. And the prices that you're paying at the pump keep going up. Inflation still out of control. This man, Joe Biden, gaffe after gaffe after gaffe. He doesn't know where he is half the time, shaking hands with the air. Why are you people still supporting him? Why? That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.